Okay, well, welcome to another chapter of CCH 360, um, where we take and look at healing modalities, some driven through the martial arts, some driven through healing arts. And we look for interviews and we look for interesting people that have strived to come forth with modalities that we may be able to share. Uh, we are actually three of us here today with Doc Johnson and Pam Dye, who is here. She's a teacher of Tai Chi, Forever Tai Chi. And my name is Dan Tracy, and I teach part-time Tai Chi in Florida here in the Titusville area, and also back up in Wisconsin when back there martial arts in motion. Our interview today is with Doc Johnson. Doc has had many years experience with yoga, and even he's taken a yoga experience to a Kundalini style of experience. So we're going to discuss some of that. This is our second interview with Doc. You can find our interviews on YouTube at CCH 360. We've got over 40 videos posted there and of various martial arts, healing arts, and modality of healing arts. So, Doc, I know you're in Northern California and you live there with your wife, Crystal. You have a farm there. So, and I believe if you look over your right or left shoulder, you might have Mount Shasta in the background. So, could you go ahead and describe what you have there? Over.
Well, we have a beautiful little 10-acre place that's nestled in the mountains. We're at the north rim of the Sacramento Valley. We're up high. And from here, if you look in the other direction, I'm looking right at Mount Shasta, who's just to the north of me. So you're looking south behind me. And we're able to grow our food here organically. We have chickens. We make our own electrical energy with solar and with wind. And we have our own spring. So we have all the water we need, and we use that to plant fruit trees. And in other words, try to improve the land where we are. We do our composting and try to live a life where we are able to do our practices, our spiritual practices, the things that to us make it worth living in nature. And we are so grateful to be in America where such a thing is possible, where people they can go out and they can create their own way and lifestyle that is beneficial to the land and to your neighbors.
Well, moving to your spiritual practices and your yoga, when did you actually start your yoga practice?
Back and say it started back in Catholic military school. You see, as a Catholic, you have to start with Raj Yoga. Your mind in Catholicism, if you think something that's wrong to do and you enjoy, thinking about that, you might as well have committed the sin. So the first thing you have to do is control the mind and not make it think thoughts that would put you in a negative space so that you couldn't feel the energy of the positive around you.
Okay, and what techniques do you have worked for you well to?
First, it was military academy, marching, learning to get the body to do what you want it to do when you tell it, your will, the sergeant tells you to do it. After military school, and you train the mind to think, that's your Raj Yoga. Then you do your Hatha Yoga. When I then went into high school, I went on the swimming team. Now I'm doing pranayama. I'm doing breath control. We were at the Junior Olympics, and so as a swimmer, you get that sports mentality. You want to do the best, be the best you can be. Got into music. That led to an introduction to a Swami from Texas University Yoga Society, a Dr. Vishnubai from India. And he got me into, if you want to perfect your body, yoga is the way to strengthen the nerves. All this weightlifting and everything is great for the muscles, but it doesn't do much for the nerves. I asked, how then do I develop my nerve strength? And so I took lessons with him on hatha yoga. I did a variety of yogas with the Kriya Yoga from the books of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi that taught us how to do the breath yoga then correctly. Okay, so I was on my way feeling good. When I went to California for music, I ran into the Kundalini people. So I just extended, wanting to be the best I could be, experience where I was doing all kinds of yoga and trying to be the best I could be. And then I had my experience. Some call it a Kundalini experience. Some call it tongues of fire coming down on a person. The important thing is my outlook of becoming a successful music entertainer, rich and famous, was gone. Well, it's the age to get rid of karmas. This is the age where if you've got karma with people and with things you need to do to make your spirit like, yes, I want to be this guy for eternity. You know, I have been so close to God that I don't want to get any further from him than I am right now. And you like who you are. You like what you've done, and you can face the Lord with full openness, no restrictions at all. You're not ashamed or hiding or disappointed with yourself or anything. When you can get yoga to clean up your mind and body to that extent, and you can accept what everyone at death is going to have to do, and that is face an unfiltered reality. Remember, the mind of man is a filter. We only get that much of the electromagnetic spectrum. There are things going around us that we have no idea about. The gamma rays, the subatomic particle waves that create the dimensions where the spirit world is investigated by people like us.
What I think I heard was that you say that Kundalini yoga brings you closer to God, or is that a misinterpretation?
Kundalini yoga opens up your ability to accept the presence of God,
Hmm.
just like helping others opens up your ability to accept the presence of God. You're happy with what you've done. That would be like your Raj yoga. You clean up your mental area. Then you clean up the physical area. Okay, that can be with exercise, can be with Tai Chi, can be with Kundalini, can be with diet. The goal is to get your nerves unblocked from tension or stress so that the natural electromagnetic energy that flows through everyone, pauper, rich, saint, or demon, that energy you want to have flow so that you can have access to all of it and can choose where your focus is going to grow.
Point you had said that women were neurologically better at doing this, or
Let me explain what I observed, which is in the ashrams, when we had very strenuous yogic poses, part of which was to hold that pose for a
Mhm.
long time. I was able to hold it the longest, except for three women in the class who, when I gave up and gave out, along with all the other men, these three ladies were still able to hold the pose for quite some time. And my yoga teacher told me, he said, that's the thing. Women neurologically can focus and concentrate longer. They can hold a pose longer. Men may be able to lift more weight, but they can't hold that weight longer than a woman can hold whatever is the similar weight that she's holding. So the neural strength of women, just to bear children, has evolved to naturally be a stronger part of their anatomy than the male has. We are stronger, sure, but we can't last as long. I mean, I think every man and wife and husband know that.
I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to yoga. I mean, I just see, hot yoga, hatha yoga. How are they all different? And how are they all related to, or is there one that's better than the other? Or
Yes,
it's a
yes, definitely,
personal experience?
definitely one's better than the other.
Ooh.
The one that's convenient, the one that you think is a good idea, the one that you want to gain more limberness and mobility. Here's the thing: tension brings the body in tight. The way to relieve tension is not with muscle exercise. That doesn't relieve tension. The way to relieve tension is with stretching. People get hung up in the word yoga. So let's just say stretching. One stretch is best when you take it to the point of pain. You go beyond the point of pain, worst thing you can do. You just do whatever your yoga is, Tai Chi, whatever you want to stretch, just to the point where the body says, oh, that's far enough. Then you breathe in, because the body remembers on the in breath, and the body goes, oh, there's pain there. You go on with your movements, whatever your movements are. And the body holds a memory of every place that it was tight. And your body repairs itself as you feel good and you think happy thoughts. The body says, oh, this is fun. I want to repair and keep this really doing good. And then your body every day gets better and you get better. So whatever stretching you do is for your nerves. Whatever resistance you do is for the muscles.
Doc, would you compare the yoga that you've had to Qigong exercises?
I have to confess, I have no idea about Qigong exercises, but I will give you this hint. When I left the Kundalini ashram to have my experience with the Brotherhood, Source Brotherhood group, who were an offshoot from Yogi Bhajan, he took Father Yod and said, you need to form your own group. Why? Because Father Yod had gone around the world and he had studied the yogas of the Essenes. And so he was combining Essene yoga techniques with the Kundalini techniques. And I had, of course, all my experience with Hatha yoga and pranayama and what have you. And putting these together is what gave the kind of yoga that you can really apply, Dan, to any kind of exercise you already do. But there are things that you can add to what you do that can make an immediate difference in how your body responds to it. It's very intense yoga, a lot of deep breathing, pranayama breathing. It's tremendously strenuous and it takes you to your limits. And then when you're done, you drop out. I mean, nothing is forced, but they teach you how to really reach your limit in the nerve development aspects, and then where to focus with your brain and your electrical magnetic field to kind of trigger that, what you would call a Kundalini experience or a near-death experience, or a samadhi or an enlightenment experience, which is what all of the saints talk about. That is what so changes the apostles in the dungeon to go out and preach about Christ after he'd been crucified. It would take pretty impressive to make any human that I know go from hiding in a dungeon when the demons are at the door and go out and face them with pure confidence. And that's the kind of experience I think every spiritual seeker is looking for. With that God, kind where he's the champ. With him, nothing can hurt you, but you've got to know the techniques to appeal to the most positive self you can be, the most wonderful creature that you can create, because you have the option of living like that eternally. Study physics. It tells you everything you know. Every reaction has an equal reaction, equal and opposite reaction. Just physics. Forget religion. Forget who believes in this or that. Doesn't matter. Physics tells you the way life is. You'll find that every religion preaches pure physics. What you do has an equal and opposite reaction. You can be at two places at once in your mind. Anything in your mind is faster than light. You can be to the outermost galaxy in your mind instantly. Yet light takes billions of years to get there. So all in physics has all of the clarification for what scripture and exercise is trying to get us to understand about our place here.